Welcome to week 3 of our Advent series. Are you a risk taker, or do you like to play it safe? Do you step out boldly, or are you more likely to hold back?
Living in Indonesia for 3 years, we learned we must take risks simply to cope with everyday life. We lived in the city of Bandung, and the traffic was nothing like we've ever seen in Europe. It seemed to me the only rule of the road was that there were no rules. When we were out walking, if we wished to cross the road, we had to summon all our courage, take a risk, and just step out into the moving traffic and hope and pray that the cars and motorbikes went around us. It was very different to life in Germany. There were no pedestrian crossings with crowds waiting patiently for the green man, even when there's not a car in sight. If we were fortunate, there was a little man with a stick and a whistle waiting to help us. For the payment of a few cents, he would step out into the traffic and walk in front of us, blowing his whistle, frantically waving his stick, risking his life to help us reach our destination safely.
The Christmas story is a documentary of risk takers. In Luke chapter 1, we read of the angel Gabriel appearing out of nowhere, bringing news to Mary that she was to have a child. I cannot begin to imagine what this teenage girl must have thought. I don't suppose an angel appearing is an everyday experience. I'm not surprised that she asked the obvious question: how is this possible? I'm a virgin. But I am surprised and amazed that after some reassurance from Gabriel, she was able to reply, "Here I am, the servant of the Lord. Let it be with me according to your word."
Mary took an incredible risk. What was Joseph going to say when he found out? How would he react to the news? She risked his anger and suspicion. She risked being thrown aside and abandoned, perhaps even having to bring up a baby alone. She risked the opinions of her neighbours, the tongue bashing and the rejection of her community for being pregnant and not married.
But Mary wasn't alone in taking risks. Joseph is the silent man of the scriptures. Not a word he ever said has been captured in the Bible, but he also took a huge risk for God. He took a risk by supporting Mary. He risked social disapproval because obeying the will of God meant more to him than what the people around him said or thought about him. Then later, he believed the visions and the messages that God gave him. When God spoke to him in a dream, he had courage to take his young wife and their newborn baby and run from Herod, risking life in a foreign land and claiming a place in history as one of the world's most famous refugees. His words may not have been captured, but his actions speak louder than any words could have done.
Mary and Joseph, two risk takers who shaped the history of the world through lives of trust and obedience, willingly saying yes to God. And they did it all without any advanced knowledge of the consequences for their faithfulness.
Sometimes we are called to say yes to God, not knowing what the consequences might be. In this period of Advent, as you prepare to celebrate the coming of Jesus, we encourage you to take time to ask God what he wants of you and to consider your response.
Perhaps he wants you to take a risk, to summon up the courage to speak to someone about Jesus. Perhaps he's calling you to risk a deeper commitment, to change your habits or your lifestyle and embrace his life example. Perhaps he's calling you to take a risk and to place your life in his hands and follow where he leads.
With Mary, Can you offer the prayer, "Here I am, the servant of the Lord. Let it be with me according to your word." May God bless you as you step out with him in new ways this Advent.